issues getting in and out of the office?
No, so we had a door in our office that would stick. And so Derek came and sprayed it with WD-40. So now we have the opposite problem in that it...
Well, it was not that door that stuck.
Yes.
He fixed the door that was fine and didn't fix the sticky door.
So, yes.
So we now have to
Velcro
attach it with Velcro to the
filing
cabinet
cabinet.
that's behind it.
Because otherwise it wants to close on us all the time.
Arkansas engineering.
Yes.
If it was duct tape, it would be perfect.
Yes. So, but we have Velcro. Okay, so we are live. But yeah. And we have to, whoever is the first one in the office that day Velcros the doorknob to the filing cabinet.
Well, be sure and put that on your resume.
Yes. That's my skill set I have.
I'm sure that sort of thing happens more often than we even want to think about. How do I fix this door? Velcro. Duct tape. WD-40.
Well, I even tried putting in twist tie in the door, but the hinges, and it worked for a little bit, but then constant friction made that up, so.
Of course, if your door is closing on its own, that means it's at a level. So I don't know if that means the whole building is settling or what.
Kind of scary being on the first floor and thinking of the building settling.
Yeah, that's exactly my thought too. I was like, so which floor would it be better to be on? Which the floor is going to settle? I guess, so like when our office was originally done, because if you notice, it says rooms, it says 140, like on the outside where you can't.
Mm-hmm.
So people must have been able to enter, like the public, whenever this office wasn't or hadn't been
When it was the bank.
the bank, I guess.
I thought that it was like somebody's office, and it wasn't necessarily a public office.
But it still
all
had
three of them-
exterior doors, and if you notice on the outside, not the inside, the outside of the building, it has 140 on those doors. Yeah, which leads me to think, well, if you're gonna have that on there, then that would be saying to someone, go to 140, you as a public would be able to enter either, yeah.
Which was this bank before? I thought it was built right before the court.
Like a bank or savings and loan that went
What is it?
belly up.
Which one was it, do you know?
I can't remember, it's so long.
There's been several, unfortunately, over the last few years.
Well, and yeah, they built this building specifically for that particular institution. And it was a, big deal, I remember that. And then they weren't in it for a few years, I don't believe. It went away.
And a big metal bedroom. Robert just had it, or no, it was Saturday, had it standing up in the bedroom next to Eli. Well, that bedroom to go into, the light switch is like further in the room. Could have put something in that room, didn't know that he just pushed it in there into the door frame. Right into that way. It is so bruised and sore. I thought I was gonna have a black eye because I hit it so hard. I was like, I have,
Okay,
yep, I have.
okay, good.
Yep.
I don't think we need to, expose any, oh, somebody was so nice to me.
Evelyn came and said this.
Thank you, Evelyn, wow. Yay!
They're going to be disappointed. He was,
Well,
his partner, no, I'm teasing, but
you know,
his partner was thinking, ooh, we could make stickers that would
Yeah.
explore.
and it would be great,
Yeah, but
advertisement, but it's not
it's, like I said, if something happens between
Yeah.
that, it would cause friction between
yeah.
us, and I just,
There's no point in doing that, and, I mean, all along, I kind of thought, I don't know that I'm comfortable with
yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just, if you're not comfortable with something, my intuition goes,
Yeah.
So, how are you doing, Tom?
Well, it depends.
On what?
All sorts of things.
Oh, yeah?
Still haven't done my taxes for the year.
Oh, well, I haven't even, I don't know, looked at them, even gotten everything together. That's a long way off as far as I'm concerned. Oh.
I think I've got all my paperwork now, Saturday.
Oh, wow.
We always owe, so I just.
Yeah, why rush
keep
into
that
it?
money until
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
have to.
I'm with you. Then I better turn my phone off and text my son.
I couldn't believe how big the twin girls had gotten.
Oh, my
That day
goodness.
I saw you.
I gotta show you some pictures.
I was like, wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. You knew,
Oh
you
my goodness.
knew that, when Stephanie had a bridal place and a formal place, that sooner or later, the girls would get involved.
They are
Here.
beautiful.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness.
And,
Wow.
I mean, she's obviously having a lot of fun with them. So,
Do they do pageants?
no. Now,
Okay.
she did,
Okay.
and I don't know if she'll decide to do that or not with,
They're
let's see. Oh, here's one.
beautiful.
And
See a lot
blowing.
of you in there.
Well, you know, come to think of it, there's probably a picture of me somewhere in my stack of pictures when I was that age, and yeah, I hadn't even thought about that. Jenny was saying they looked like his mom a little bit, and so they're definitely moving into, I don't know if she'll push them into that. I'm praying she'll be too busy with the store
Yeah.
to make a difference. Tom, are you interested in these pictures or not? I felt like I neglected you, but didn't want you to feel that way. Yeah, she actually did Miss Arkansas back in the day, and, I mean, she was Miss Carroll County and Miss blah, 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 whatever.
Gotcha.
And actually, she was, the Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue, gal 2 or 3 years in a row.
Oh, wow.
And,
Is that something you really want to be, though?
back when it was, she was not trashy like some of the girls, and she was also,
I wouldn't say that to their face.
no, but she said it to me, because she was concerned about that. The beach, Tropicana.
Hello.
She-
Well, hello, how are you?
I'm good.
She
How are
competed
you?
for that. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
I was gonna say, if we're gonna share pictures, I've got some of my granddaughter.
Well, Jennifer was over here seeing, okay, good. Jennifer was over, when I came into, putting my name on the ballot, for the commission, for the committee. And, I brought my girls with me, and so they were standing out here in the hallway with me, and Jennifer walked by, and she went, "Oh, my goodness, you're girls!" And they're 5 now. They'll be 6, actually, in September. So.
Yeah, 'cause I'll never forget that meeting we had when they were little, and you had to bring them, were you here, Tom? I don't know. If you
Yeah,
were
they
here.
were in the middle.
So to keep them corralled, we put them in the middle of this so that they couldn't escape.
Because they probably were only, I don't think they were even 2 years old at that point, were they?
I don't think so either. They were
could walk.
walking, but yeah, I don't think they were 2.
Yeah.
They were toddling.
Yeah, they were, and it's double trouble anytime
Yep.
when you've got twins, and,
Oh, so they're twins?
yeah, they're twins.
Yeah.
And the thing is, she was carrying triplets, but one of them,
Didn't make it.
yeah. So it could have been crazier
Yeah.
still.
We had 7 of our grandchildren at our house this weekend.
Oh, golly.
Sounds like you were plenty busy.
9,
Okay.
but the other 2 are adults.
Ah.
They were from early mistakes.
No. No child is a mistake.
Not a mistake.
None is a mistake.
Unplanned.
I said they were from
Unexpected.
mistakes. They weren't mistakes, but they were from errors in judgment.
Oh.
How about that?
No, I don't even like that.
That's the way my boys are in age-wise.
Oh,
So my
yeah.
boys are 19 and 25, and then the other grandchildren are 6 and below, and there's 6 of them now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so they're cousins, but they're really more like uncles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When we
yeah.
all get together, because they're just so much older
Oh, yeah.
than the little one.
I always said my mom and dad, had 2 separate families.
Mhm.
Because, there were 6 of us children, 5 that lived. And the one that was number 4, who died, they had 2 children after that. And I mean, my brother, who's the oldest, doesn't really know number 6. Because there's like a 17-year gap
Mhm.
there. And so he even said this to me the other day, he was almost completely out of the house before the youngest was cognizant of him. And I wasn't that much farther behind, because there's a 2-year difference between my older brother and me. And actually, Denny's family had the same thing, although their kids were just farther spread apart. Like 6 years between each of the 4 boys.
My father was a little bit older than his youngest,
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
and he never let her get it.
Oh. Well, I remember when we were at John Brown, and the college pastor had 2 grown sons, both of whom were attending classes at John Brown, and found out that their mom was expecting a baby at that point. And the oldest of the 2 sons who were students was married, and shortly after he was married, his wife got pregnant. So the son and the grandson were born about the same time. How weird is that? But that's
Yeah, if you had
those are happy surprises.
if you had left, yes, they are happy. There's no doubt about that. If you had left, the restaurant yesterday and gone around the other way,
Oh.
you would have come by a big, long table there
Oh, yeah?
that had my,
All 7?
included all 7.
Oh, my goodness,
Well,
I
their
missed out on that.
2 of the parents, 2 of the kids, are our daughters, and we
Yeah,
had them, at our house for the weekend.
gotcha.
And then the parents brought the others in.
Ah, okay. Well, we happen to have our oldest grandson, who will be 31 this year. He was sitting at lunch with us, so.
My
Your
youngest,
grandchildren then are a
Oh, yeah.
big great.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Well, because our 31-year-old was a surprise, an unexpected surprise, but a blessing nonetheless,
Yeah.
and has turned into a wonderful young man.
We have, our oldest, grandchild is in Kentucky, and the next one is, in Florida, Tampa. So,
That's pretty far.
yeah, so they don't make it to these kind of things, but, we're gonna have we've really gone way out. We've got at West Fork, there's a house that you can rent that's out in the country. It's got this huge backyard,
Yeah.
all this stuff to do, you know, and all these rooms and everything. So we've rented it
Oh, cool.
for Memorial Day, and
How fun.
everybody's coming in.
Fun.
Yeah, so.
I think I've seen pictures of that place, like it has a ton of things.
Yeah, and
in
it's
the backyard
sitting
for
on a
kids
hill, yeah.
To do and stuff.
We don't know really anything about it other than it had great, ratings, reviews.
Oh,
And, you know, it's not the beach, but then again, it's a whole lot less expensive.
Well, that's for sure.
And it's got all this, space outside that, to do. And, you know, I guess it's, I can't remember if it has a pool or not, but it has I don't think it does. It has,
A creek or something.
stuff out in, outside to do, set up, I think it's got a fire pit,
There he is.
Hey, how's your arm?
Yeah, it hurts, sore. Really feeling it today, Jim. Thank you for asking.
You did a great job.
I was going to, get you a plaque that said, strong man or something, but I
We want to get you a plaque.
didn't get a chance.
We were afraid you couldn't pick it up.
Oh, my goodness, we appreciate your being here.
Oh, yeah, no.
That was
No
crazy.
big deal. Yeah, it was crazy. Who could have predicted?
No kidding.
Not me.
Well, I had to get out, Friday morning, oh, Jim, you didn't get that one. I had to get out Friday morning early, and, I had to leave home at 7:15, which was right after it started snowing.
Yeah, sure.
And it was awful.
That's what I heard. It was bad in the
Oh,
morning.
it was awful. And of course, the trucks and the cars are all skidding all over the place and, jackknifing and this and that.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
thought, am I even gonna be able to get there and
No.
then get home?
Oh, I feel you. Don't want to
Oh.
get on any part of it.
So after
Yeah.
that, I did not wanna get out the rest of the day. I'm like, ooh.
After it quit, snowing,
It wasn't bad.
it started melting because
Oh, uh-huh.
we'd had the heat sink of the ground.
True.
It
And,
was so warm
yeah.
that it just, took it away, except on the north side of my house, my back.
Oh, yeah, my back side of my house is
Yeah, mine too.
still snowy. Okay, I think we're ready, well, my clock doesn't say that. How long do you think it's gonna be before they?
It's 1 o'clock is what.
It is? Okay.
Yep.
Okay, good. Mine just changed. How long do you think it's gonna be
Oh,
before
yeah,
that one
that probably.
goes forward?
Yeah, that's right.
All right, well, let's call this meeting to order. Thankfully, we don't have bad weather today. First item is our minutes. We have 2 sets of minutes here. Have y'all had a chance to look at them?
Just now, and I'm fine with them.
You're good with it?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, we will accept the minutes as presented and move on. Ballot review. Jennifer?
Okay, so, just for you to get an idea of the layout of the ballot, so when we actually do the ballot approval, we don't need to go back and fix like a heading, or
Yeah.
if you want something laid out a little bit differently. I had originally suggested to the election commission that we, keep the unopposed candidates with, like, we would do the contested state races and county races, and then do the unopposed for those. But, Max had actually suggested that we put all the unopposed at the back end of the ballot and list it, which turned out to be a great suggestion, because, our Republican ballot, which,
is the one, I should have labeled these, but the first Republican ballot that you have is for Center One, Center One.
Yeah.
If you notice, these.
Oh, we're looking at those?
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry, I went to
No
the ballot
problem.
first. The front page is all contested races, but the back page is where the unopposed would be. So if we had mixed these unopposed in with the races,
Right.
it would have put a contested race to the back of the ballot, and we don't want to do that.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
And so, we switched that order. We, have gone in, instead of putting Republican Party underneath each candidate name or Democratic Party, if you'll notice, it's in the header,
Oh, gotcha.
for federal offices.
Okay.
And so that gives it a cleaner look and allows us to keep everything all on this one, contested races,
Mhm.
all on the front of it. And then on this same ballot, the Center One for the Republican one, what we've done for unopposed offices, we've kept, and you can tell me if you like this phrasing, we've called them unopposed state executive offices, so that would be, like, so Republicans end up just having auditor of state, but the Democrats have several others.
Gotcha.
They have lieutenant governor, attorney general, state treasurer, auditor, and commissioner. And then we did unopposed county executive offices. And then the justice of the peace and state rep and constable that's unopposed, we have one constable that's unopposed, they'll be listed as individuals rather than in a big group, so they will be precinct specific. So this was kind of the layout we did for the unopposed candidates.
Can you, is there any well, I mean, these are the black and white ones, aren't they?
Remember too, these are only going to be for absentee
Yeah.
ballots.
Yeah.
So this will not be,
It's not gonna be a lot of people.
not a lot of.
I mean, we hope it's not a lot of people.
Right, right. We hope.
Wow.
So this is just for absentee ballots.
Okay. Okay, here's what I would ask on these, and I don't know if it's possible, but could you, on the category federal offices, state offices, county offices, can you do those in reverse? Make it a black box with white type?
Yes. Yes. It will eat up more ink.
Right, I understand that, yeah.
It'll eat up more ink when we're printing, but, yeah, we can do that.
To give a little contrast.
Between the two.
Yeah, and so people can immediately look at it and say, okay, this is a different set of categories here.
So you're talking for the federal offices, for the header, where
The
it's
header,
federal
yeah.
office, Republican Party.
Correct.
State offices, Republican Party. You'd like to see that as a black box with white ink.
Yes,
Okay.
well, with white, it wouldn't be
Well,
ink,
but
but
with
it would be black ink, yeah. Yeah, do these actually always have this black bar on the side? Okay.
That is our proof, that's our
Gotcha.
ability to prevent anyone from
Mhm.
copying these ballots.
Oh.
That black
Got it.
bar
Okay.
covers the tracking mark.
Yeah, that's what I
I
wondered.
always hate when you see sample across a ballot. I feel
Oh,
like it makes
yeah.
it hard,
Sure,
Yeah.
it makes it hard to read.
I agree,
And if you had a PDF, you could just remove the sample.
right.
But they can't remove that black bar and
Yes.
fix the tracking mark to
Yeah,
be how the
good
tracking
point.
mark, that's what lets it go through the ballot.
Okay,
So
okay,
that,
perfect.
that won't be on
Yeah,
there,
cool.
that's our, security measure, so to speak, for the paper ballot,
Okay,
that black bar.
okay, well, are you guys okay with that black on, and, white type on the differentiated headings?
I don't know, I guess I'm not sure how it would look exactly.
Debbie can run down and get her computer, and then we can pull it up on
Okay.
the print.
Okay, if you don't mind. It's, to me, I like reverse type,
You do?
yes, and, I mean, in printing. That's what
Yeah,
we do a lot.
I know you are, yeah.
And so it would, I mean, it doesn't affect anything, it simply makes it a category that you can notice right away, because you've got these shaded spots, which, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at the federal, state, county, et cetera, they're also shaded,
Sure, yeah.
but they're not
Little darker.
distinct.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think it could, I mean, it could make it easier to navigate,
Mm-hmm.
but it would be nice to see it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would be good to see
So
it.
we can so Debbie can pull that up.
Cool.
Okay.
Now, obviously, for this election, the instructions part is plenty big enough, you know, for the general, we have to squeeze that a little bit more.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
you have so much
Oh,
more
yeah.
on this.
Right.
The millage that's on all of the ballots, there are no school districts that are having, a change in the millage.
Oh.
So that's okay for the millage to be on
Okay.
the back of the ballot, since
Yeah.
there's not a change, in the millage. Trying to think if there was anything else that's, different about the ballot. All the, I see one change I need to make. That state rep, Gayla, Hendren, McKenzie, if you're looking at the Republican Center 1 ballot,
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if that would look better if it says state rep and then Gayla, Hendren, McKenzie all on the line below. I think we may need to adjust.
Well, I mean, if you do that, aren't you gonna have to do that?
We have it done for all of them. If you look at Justice of the Peace, Patrick Beacons, we try to keep, if they have a title and it won't completely fit all on the line, we try and do
Oh,
this.
say state representative.
We can't change it to
That's
state
how she put
representative.
it.
She put state rep.
Oh, okay.
But we can pop Gayla Hendren down below and have Gayla Hendren McKenzie.
Oh, I see, and keep state rep on the top
Yeah.
part.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that, yeah, I see what you
I
mean.
feel
You
like
did it
I
for the
think-
other ones.
I think that's, I mean, when you've got a name that long, you've got to do something to
Yeah.
adjust with our lines.
Well, you were fast.
The other thing you mentioned was the executive,
Yes,
the
do
word.
you like that?
Yeah.
I don't know if I do.
And
I don't
that-
know if I
This is one of the
wanna make
reasons
sure
I
it's
want you
accurate,
to.
like, you know, how are these
Yes.
offices defined
Yes.
as executives,
Can you see that?
you know, county? Yeah, I'm fine with that, yeah.
I think
It's
that
executive
works
in the
well.
Constitution, you know,
I
what are they?
don't know, I
Good.
know that
Good call.
that's how
Perfect.
they're phrased.
Debbie.
They are,
Like on the county website, they call like the assessor, the circuit clerk, executive offices.
Oh, they do?
We can take that off. We were just kind of trying to differentiate between
sure,
the governor and all of those, but we can just have it be unopposed state offices.
yeah.
And unopposed county offices.
I feel like that may be better unless there's some legal, you know, they're called
Yeah,
that in the
if-
Constitution
yeah.
or something.
Can you check it?
Yeah, we can,
Well,
I
we
can.
I mean,
Otherwise, we've always called them just state offices.
we have,
County offices.
we have,
I think we
yes.
should do that.
And
That's-
then we
that
can just
covers
leave
our
it as that.
bases.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think, yeah.
Yeah,
I think that'd be good. And yeah, I think that looks good. Do the
Reverse.
reverse on it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Remove the word executive from both of them. I was trying to think if there was. The primary one is the one you always have to think about, like the unopposed, how you put them on there.
Right.
Because for the general, we don't have that issue,
Yeah. Yep, you're right.
so.
The, item that you spoke about, it's this, state rep Gayla Hendren McKenzie.
Mhm.
Do we have the same issue over to the right there, Supreme Court Associate Justice Robin Wynn?
So that's one to look at too, definitely. So when you, so.
You'd have to go to a third line to take her name down below it.
Well,
can't do that.
Yeah, we wouldn't want to do that. On the state, on position 2, she filed Supreme Court Associate Justice Robin Wynn. And,
It's a him.
oh, sorry.
That's okay.
I was thinking the same thing.
So, yes, we made a judgment call on moving justice
Justice.
in front of the name, because if you look at the next box down,
Mhm.
Supreme Court, for that name, justice would fit on the line,
Right.
but we felt for consistency's sake, since those two offices were right next to one another, to
Mhm.
make the name
Oh, I
the
see.
same.
Mhm.
And these are one of those things that are judgment calls.
Right.
Like how do you like the layout of the ballot?
Yeah,
You know,
and the main thing is it easy to read?
right,
You just don't wanna split the name up from
Right.
a single line
Right.
what is the issue, okay.
yeah.
I get,
So if you like, that was what I thought was consistent for the two candidates, even though they're running in two different offices, their names are right next to one another, so,
And they're current justices.
mhm.
So,
Yes.
I mean, I think that's the best way to do it. I think you've done well.
Like that.
I have a question on the Elkins School Board race.
Yes.
And I think on that one, you would want to reverse school board too, and on school millage.
We'll do any headers.
Yeah,
So the thing you asked us to do was the headers. We'll
Mhm.
follow up with any other headers,
okay,
school board, nonpartisan judicial,
right.
and then I think the Town one,
Oh,
the municipal, will
Yeah.
do the same thing for the
Okay.
Town municipal. All of the headers will be in black with
okay,
the white.
good. My question on the Elkins thing is, you've got Zone 5 on the same line as Board of Directors, and I'm not sure the exact way, but I'm wondering, District 10, Zone 5 on one line? Or is that with a comma in between?
So District 10, we don't know how these numbers came to be.
Yeah,
So Elkins School District is Elkins School District number 10.
okay,
And then it's Zone 5, but we could do 3 lines there and do Elkins School District 10, Elkins School District 10, Zone 5, or we could do Board of Directors, Zone 5.
okay. Yeah, I think I would do the latter, Board of Directors, Zone 5. But if you put Board of Directors, comma, Zone 5, you wouldn't have to go to the next line, right?
No, we wouldn't. I like the layout of having the
extra line.
position as a separate
Oh, gotcha.
line.
Okay.
I'm trying to look and see.
Yeah, look for somebody else that would be similar.
We don't have another school district on here.
Oh, that's right. Okay, well, I mean, that's not a big picky thing to me,
Elkins
but,
School, and then District 10, and then Board of Directors, and then Zone 5.
the Board of Directors is really the larger thing in the Zone 5. I mean, it's kind of like you're
Yeah.
doing in lower order.
We'll show you what that looks like,
Okay.
and then we'll do the same thing for all the contested school board races.
Okay. What else, y'all?
Nothing that I'm seeing.
You're gonna do 4 lines for this one. It'll be Elkins School, District 10, and then it'll be Board of Directors, and then Zone 5. Oh, if you're, that one will work too. You can show them that one.
You've done a good job, Debbie.
Thank you. It's always the little things.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that you lay out, and still, we could even come back to this ballot a year later, and we would
yeah.
still see things like, oh, I wish I would have done
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
or that would have looked better.
It's, a lot of these things are preference, and as such are, your formats can change by a gosh, and you're just like, oh, I wish we'd done that. Okay.
Okay. So we'll remove executive from those
Yeah.
unopposed.
Perfect. I haven't seen anything else.
And what we've done is, there are 77, we have, so precinct-wide, we have, I think we have 316 unique ballots, that's with all the school splits. But when I lay out how many precincts within that match, there's 77 actually unique ballots.
It's right here. Oh, good. Yeah, I think that looks better. And, I mean, it's more, it's not as compact, and therefore it's easier for you to read.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Good job. Yeah, I like it.
Zone 3,
I did zone 3 because
There's
that was the
zone
first
3
one.
and zone 5, yeah.
and they're in there, in the stack more than once, aren't they?
No, these, I don't think you have a zone 3 in this one, in this.
No, I mean, well, there's another zone 5,
Oh, yes, because that's the Democratic ballot.
yeah.
Yeah. And so once she fixes it on one, it corrects it, it will be
Oh, yeah.
that way.
So every
Okay.
place that.
That appears,
Okay.
it'll be that way. And if you look at Elkins one, the Democratic ballot, because it doesn't have as many contested races, the school millage and part of the unopposed offices are on the front, but the back, so yeah. We wondered too, should we look to the back to make sure people are aware, but not every ballot's two-sided.
That's true.
But if these go out to the voters who are voting absentee, they'll be folded.
Oh,
They
yeah,
will
you'll
see
see
when they
it.
unfold,
Yeah.
they're going to actually see the backside first. So we felt like we didn't need to do that,
I agree.
for these, because they'll actually see the backside.
Okay.
And don't they have to fold them back up?
And then they fold them back up. So we figure at some point during the folding process, they should see
Yeah.
that there's something on the back of the ballot. The nice thing is, for these ballots, anything that's on the back is either uncontested or doesn't have
Oh,
a change
good
in the
point.
school millage,
Yeah.
so.
Okay. I think we've got a good presentation.
Yeah, me too. The only other thing I see on this electronic one, Farmington School Board, it says Zone 2 twice.
Well,
You'll
That's
fix that?
something that I have to go in, every time I make a change, it wants to add that back in,
Oh,
because
yeah.
that's
Oh.
the district number, so
Got it.
that's what I'm having to do right now.
Got
Oh,
it.
my goodness.
yeah,
Got
so
it.
we'll correct all, we'll look for all of those things. Now, Debbie has the ability to do part of this,
Yeah,
this is
see
a
on the
PDF.
JP District
Yeah.
2, huh?
Yeah,
I
we'll
see.
go in and fix it. But to get it to lay out nice and neat like this, we actually had to get ES&S to do it for us.
Oh.
It just is a program run that they run for us. And so, because this isn't the actual ballot, I didn't want them to spend a lot of time
Yeah,
running
yeah,
a
yeah.
program.
Right.
The thing I wanted you to see for the express vote ballot is, this is screen one.
That is how it's gonna look.
That's
All
how
three-
it's gonna look. So
Three
this-
columns.
Yes. So for you, this really isn't so much about the headers and the names and all of that.
Just the
It's
layout.
to actually see, this will be your layout for the express vote ballot.
So remind me what happens when you hit text size up.
So
My
then,
question
it will,
too.
individual, races will appear. So
Oh.
if someone is like, I don't like the look,
Oh,
like I'm
yeah.
confused at what I'm voting
Yeah.
on. If they hit text size, then they're just gonna see federal offices,
Ah.
US Senate, then they'll see,
Okay.
governor, then they'll see Secretary of State. Just like
On
the,
succeeding pages
on
then?
succeeding pages.
Wow, okay,
If they're fine with this, which is like the old iVotronic,
right,
then this is how
okay.
they'll vote. So what it does do, instead of this being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 screens,
Yup.
it's
Oh.
now 2 screens.
Yeah,
Unless they want to look at it bigger. And we'll
Yeah.
have that in like a little list of instructions, like if you want to look at individual races on
Cool.
the express
Okay.
vote itself, we'll put that there so that they know.
I don't know what the spiel is as the poll worker who tells people, but, and you can't, you can't identify somebody and then only suggest it to them,
Right, it'll
about
be-
it. But if you could work it into the spiel or something like,
yeah,
hey, if you wanna increase the size,
Yeah,
hit
right.
text size.
And I
Right.
think what I'll do is, like, so for every election on the, like, when you go and vote on the express vote, we have a little, like, information panel on the
Mhm.
side that gives, like, unique instructions for this election.
Mhm.
I'll work up unique instructions for that, but our poll workers will also be told, you need to let them know about the text size and that it makes it individual screen, but we'll put that same spiel in the info on the express vote
and at the
as
same
well.
time, we don't want people to panic if they hit the text size, because they only see one race at that point,
Right.
Something
Yeah,
like,
very
what
good
happened to the
point.
rest of my?
Right,
Yeah.
and it
yeah.
now says next page instead of next.
Ah.
There are a
Yeah.
couple other little things that they,
Good.
that it worked on, but I do think that this ballot, even on the express vote, is pretty easy to follow
Mhm.
and vote. We'll play with what the express vote, these boxes look like.
The ones at the top?
Because we can change those colors individually too.
Oh, yeah, good.
And probably what I'll do is when we meet on Thursday, I'll bring an express vote in here, so
Okay,
you can
good.
actually
Cool.
see
Okay.
the express vote screen.
Now, I noticed that everything in the top left is truncated except annual school election and the particular poll place, or ballot, I guess. Is there any way we can, have you really?
That's one of the things that I'm having to work with them
Yeah.
about.
Well, I mean, the interesting thing is, I'm wondering if they're limiting you to this space when you ought to be able to use this much space.
Sure looks like.
Yeah, I think
But-
it has always been an issue
Mhm.
on the express poll book.
Right.
And this actually, what you're seeing up there at the top is kind of a stationary screen.
Oh,
This is the part below that changes
Yeah.
each time
Yeah.
you go. That part at the top is the stationary.
Right.
And we've always had an issue with it truncating it
Yeah.
and not letting us put the whole thing on there. It's very limiting on the amount of letters that
And
we
I
can
presume
have.
you're limited to 4 lines then, too.
Yeah.
That that text size button, I'm sorry to go back to that, but it's got an arrow in both directions. You can toggle back and forth.
Mhm.
Yes, you can. Yes.
Because the school millage would be the one that I might wanna, if I wanted to read it.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
good point,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
sure, yeah.
Yes, you can toggle back and forth.
No,
The display, that one, we'll need to double check that. The display, if you,
Contrast.
have a sensitivity to black or to color, you can take the screen black and white.
Yeah.
We need to make sure that if we do this black, what that does.
Oh,
when
yeah.
we do that display
Yeah.
screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you do what, black?
If
If you do
we
that
do the
contrast
headers
we're talking
black
about,
with
yeah.
the white, we need to double check and make sure that display,
Well, and it may be
Makes
less
it-
necessary on here since you have color.
it may be, because we can use color.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
true.
but we'll wanna
Yeah.
double
Because
Yeah.
it's great on the other one,
Right.
I mean, because it shows the contrast, because you've got a gray and a gray.
Mhm.
But if we've got color on here,
Right.
Yeah,
you
we'll
could
look,
do that, because, yeah, I'm with you, the.
Play around
flip
with it
the
and-
display.
yeah, so we
And
wanna
see.
look
Yeah.
and make sure that that works properly.
Okay.
And it may be that we want to just do in this, because you can change this from what,
I can change the text on it.
because we might want to just put this as May 24th election.
Oh.
Instead of trying to get nonpartisan judicial and school election, and just put May 24th, 2022, primary, school, or primary, judicial, and school. I mean,
Yeah,
we'll play around with it.
Yeah, see if you can
and
get
see
some verbiage that'll,
what we can,
be
but
more-
that has always been an issue with the express vote.
yeah. It's just, that's difficult. Okay, so we don't have to, have a motion on this until, what, Thursday?
Yeah, Thursday's when you're gonna approve the
Okay.
ballots, that's what we have not proved the spelling and the districts and all of that, but what I didn't want us to do is come in here on
Yeah.
Thursday
Right.
and you guys be like, oh, I don't like
Yeah.
that, and then I'm
Good
like,
thinking.
and then I'm like, okay, so we'll, I don't wanna
Yeah,
approve it with changes, I would like you guys to approve it, and
Right.
we've made changes that you wanna see today. But the spelling and all of that, we've not
okay,
approved that.
question, on the DS-200 one, you have, under the State Senate District 35, you just have Rep. Gayla Hendren McKenzie.
That's how she filed.
No, but she.
But on the other one, it says
You probably
State
just
Rep.
need to go on two
Oh,
lines.
yes, because like I said, these, were done before we did the ballot draw, before we proofed names.
Okay,
I felt guilty even asking them to do this, because I was like, I know we're making changes to
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
But I wanted you to be
It's
able to
helpful to see, appreciate the layout.
Yeah.
That's what,
Okay.
that's
That's what you're
what I
showing
wanted.
us.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm
Okay.
just showing you
You
the
give us
layout.
some ballots here, we're gonna go through them.
that's right.
These are just the layout.
Okay,
Yes. So there are
okay.
definitely
Okay.
changes between the names aren't in the right order either. if
Okay,
you
I didn't
notice.
check that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, if you notice, the names aren't in the right
Okay.
order or anything like that. This is
Yeah, I'm
just
seeing 'em now.
really for you to be able to say, oh, this is what the new layout is
Okay.
going. These also will end up being our sample ballots that we
Oh,
post,
okay.
on the, voter view site
Mhm.
and on our website, because voters don't get this ballot at the polls.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
get this ballot, and I don't want them coming in saying,
I didn't get the
my
right
ballot
one.
doesn't look
Yeah.
the same.
Yeah,
So it'll give them a little idea of when they come to the polls, what
Good.
to look like, so.
okay.
Well, this is great, good job,
Yeah,
everybody.
excellent.
Yep.
This is a monumental, undertaking, and, you've done marvelously.
So we will have, when you do the primary, I always say the primary election is absolutely the hardest,
Yeah,
because we have 316 ballots, but we have to times that times 3,
right.
so we have 693 ballots actually for this election, is what we have,
Wow,
end up with, yeah.
wow.
Mr. Partisan?
Yeah, that's what I was
Oh,
thinking,
yeah,
900.
no, that's my 77 times 3 times.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so, yeah, it's more than that, it's 9,000 something, yeah, or 900.
We're not gonna talk in those numbers. We do
No.
not want to know.
How does it compare to
It's more.
pre-redistricting? Do you remember what that?
Yeah, we had similar numbers, last year. Last year, we had 285, unique ballots. This time it's 313. So that's the difference, from what we had in 2020.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, well, we will finalize that on Thursday then.
Yes.
Unless you have any other questions?
Nope.
Okay, we'll move forward on that. Early vote and Election Day Vote Center update.
Okay, so early vote wise, the Boys and Girls Club has come back and they're not able to accommodate us this year. The
Okay.
rooms that we've used in the past, which were 2 small classrooms, they have classes in there on a consistent basis that they can't reschedule or can't move, and they have more children coming to the Boys and Girls Club than they've ever had before.
Yeah.
So to replace the Boys and Girls Club, Covenant Church on Weddington has offered to be an early vote site for us
Okay.
as well. So that would give us our site on Weddington.
Right.
My question is, and I can confer with the church, I don't think that they would have a problem. Normally, we don't have the Boys and Girls Club open on Saturday, but would you like to have Saturday voting that first Saturday at Covenant Church out on Weddington?
You think the first Saturday or the last Saturday is the better of the two?
Can we do both? I would say unequivocally, yes, we should have early voting on Saturday. There are tons of folks.
Out that way,
Tons of folks
especially.
who live
Yeah.
out that way.
Yeah.
Yes, let me check,
Okay.
double check with the church,
Okay.
but, yes, that should be, we should be able to do that.
Okay.
Too bad about Boys and Girls Club. I hate to lose it as a site. It was a
Yeah.
great
Yeah.
site. We had it for a long time.
We did, and if they ever expand, I would think
Oh,
that we would
good
be able to
point.
go back there, but I don't know if you've ever been in there at 3:30.
No, not 3:30.
Yeah.
When we have early voting, during the day, you're
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, there's so much space
Yeah,
in there,
yeah.
and there's nothing
Uh-huh,
going
I
on,
bet
and
that,
then
yeah.
starting at 3 o'clock,
Oh,
it's
my
a
goodness.
whole,
Yeah, I believe it,
it's
yeah,
a whole
I
different
believe it.
place. So if they do ever expand, I know that we can go back to them.
Yeah.
I will check then on the Saturday voting at Covenant, to see if that, and the nice thing about Covenant is, it's also an election day site.
Right.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So,
That's
yeah.
great.
so that works for us there. Medical arts, they're still just going to be Monday through Friday,
Okay.
for the 2 weeks. And then, in Springdale, since Arvest could only offer us 4 days, we looked for an alternate location. And a lot of the places we've discussed at the previous meeting, we either were told no, or just won't work. We visited City Hall in Tontitown, and that location actually, because of renovations that they've done over the past several years, is an ideal site for us, size-wise.
Is it?
Huh?
Is it?
It is. It's
Surprisingly.
it's
Yeah.
bigger, it's as big as this, because we'll be able to set up in their meeting area
Oh,
where
yeah.
they have city council
Okay.
meetings.
It's bigger than this room.
Yeah, so it's bigger than this, which is way bigger than what we had at our.
They have parking?
Oh, good point.
Plenty of parking.
Great.
Yeah.
That's why you've got 8 to 4:30 penciled out, because they've got their city council meeting that.
Yes, that
Okay.
one day we will have to
Okay.
move, equipment, but,
Oh.
but they've already thought of a plan. We can set up, they have a conference room, it's probably not this big,
It's not, it's
but we can set up the check-in in the conference room and then the express votes in the actual meeting area.
Mhm.
So when we do the tear down, it's just the express vote.
Oh, gotcha.
And we just move those to the side, the city council will have their meeting, and then we will just go after the meeting, set back up, so we're ready to go the next morning at 8 o'clock.
Why don't you just attend the meeting and tell them you
We probably
need
will
to
just stay.
build an extra space for us,
Yeah.
so we can use
Well,
their year.
They are actually,
Oh, they are?
The, fire department is building a
Oh,
huge
that's
training
right.
room
Yeah.
that could be our early vote site versus the city meeting room.
Cool.
So,
Okay.
yeah, and they want us there, they're really excited about it. One question I have for the commission is, and I need to just confirm with City Hall, St. Joseph's is right across
Right
the
across the
street.
street, yeah.
What would you think about taking the election day site
Oh.
from St. Joseph's, moving it to City Hall? That gives us
Consistency.
consistency, it's early vote
Yeah,
site
yeah.
and election day site.
I mean, I would say absolutely.
It makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it's so much less confusing for voters about where a location is.
And
That's consistent during
honestly,
the 2-week period and election day.
The only thing I would say is that a lot of people, early voting have been going to, Arvest Ballpark, and they're gonna have to move.
That's true, they're still gonna have to
And
move.
the people in, across the street at St. Joseph, at the Catholic Church, a lot of those people they're obviously are election day voters, and we're gonna ask them to also move.
We would. It's about, it'd be about 500 voters from the 2020 general that voted, and we would be asking them to move. One of the things that we look at on our end is if we have an early vote site that is an election day site, I don't have to move the equipment. Now, obviously, we've been doing that for years.
Obviously, that's you know, long-term, that might be the best plan. I just wanted to just raise the potential issue that the first time out, maybe it's not.
Right, and we will post.
For the voters.
Right, and we certainly would post signs at St. Joseph's. We were required by law to do that, but,
Big signs.
yeah, so.
Well, I mean, just even, right, under a normal election right now, it says vote here, and you pull into the lot there.
Yeah.
Basically, you just move it to the other side and say, vote here.
I understand that.
And I think the thing that I've always felt about, St. Joseph's, when they started the school there, that has made it a little less, I mean, even though they use the room, and I think it's a great space, but it does create an issue that you don't know if you're in school traffic or if you're in voting traffic or what. And, if we were at the city hall, it would be consistently in the same location.
Yeah, I like the long-term potential of being
Oh,
in
yeah,
City
and
Hall or
yeah.
any government building that agrees to host us, because so often, I mean, heck, we were at rodeo for how long?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
then it doesn't work out.
Right,
I mean, private
right,
buildings,
right.
private entities, whether it's a
And
for-profit or
again, when
nonprofit,
it's a
church,
school,
whatever.
that brings into, other dynamics into the question as well, so,
Yep.
you know. Is that
So
the
anyways,
only
it's-
school we're in right now?
Well, Archer, if I can.
Oh, that's
get-
right, Archer.
If I can get the
Yeah.
schools, call me back. But that's another issue, but Archer is the only school we're in. You know, and St. Joseph's is willing to host us. I'm just
Right.
thinking, like, if we were going to make the move, this would be the time to do it
That's my thought.
into City Hall, and, you know, have the voters there.
We don't have any, I mean, if we do that and something goes wrong over there, we can always get back into St.
Yes, we'll
Yeah,
talk to
yeah.
St. Joseph's and tell them that we want to, you know, we're not.
Nothing
we're not-
against them.
Yeah.
Right, we're not moving because of anything that you've done or whatever.
We're not
We're willing
done.
to host this. We just want to see if this works. The same thing, I still have Arvest on hold for this general election
Yeah.
because of,
It's not baseball season then.
right, if Town is.
Yeah, if something happens when you're
Right.
there or whatever.
But I do think Town long-term definitely is a great location for us. I didn't realize, I was out that way, the growth.
Oh, it's
There is
amazing.
Oh, it's,
so
Yeah.
much growth out there. So we wouldn't just be pulling Springdale voters.
Oh, it'd
I
be
know
all
the
the folks
Town
out
voters
there.
are coming into
Yeah.
Arvest too,
Yeah.
but this is just, you
Mhm.
know, would be a great spot for all that growth. Harbor Meadows,
That's right.
Yeah.
all of those areas out there, pulling them into
Yeah.
City Hall.
yeah, we've got a Chick-fil-A now, right?
Yeah, that's
Yes.
right.
Yeah. Didn't know.
Listen, my grandkids are ecstatic.
Yeah, yeah.
The only downside I see, which is not a reason not to move, but getting off the, two things. Of course, it's it's cool to vote at Arvise Ballpark, right? In the locker, I mean, that's a given, but,
good
but
point.
getting off the interstate was easy for folks to Arvise
True,
Ballpark.
yeah.
If you get off at Don Tyson and shoot
Yeah.
over there, it's harder to get down toward 12 to
Yeah,
get
good
to
point.
County Town. So I would say, let's think about long-term, if something else pops up over
that
there
area,
that's easy
yeah.
to get off,
And there
that
are
works
lots
as a
of-
location, we could always do a small, limited early voter.
There are lots of things popping up over there.
There are.
I mean, it's just growing like a weed,
And
and,
as a resident of Harbor Meadows, I can tell you that a lot of times we still get off at
Elm
Don
Springs.
Tyson.
oh, it don't
Right.
have,
Or
oh,
go up, Gene George.
Oh, I can
Okay.
see that, yeah, I can see that.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
Or from some places, you might even come in on 112.
yeah.
yeah, take the back roads,
Yeah,
yeah.
so,
Oh, yeah, that's
Depends
funny.
on where you're
Yeah.
coming
so
from,
there's
but yeah.
optionals.
Yeah, that's
As
true,
my
there's
brother
plenty
used
of
to say.
options.
Yeah, until they put in the 412 bypass, right? I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
And-
Remember when the
But
four
you're
twelve
right,
was
that-
a bypass?
Yeah.
That 412 and I-49 intersection is a bear.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
awful.
it is,
Bear.
isn't it?
Avoid it if you
gotta
can.
deal with it.
Yeah. Except it was the best option last Friday. Okay, what else, Jennifer?
So the other ones are ones we've talked about, Bud Walton, they are good for us to be a limited early vote site.
Okay.
On Tuesday, Wednesday, I have Thursday down here, they're just confirming that Thursday. What we're running into with that first week of early vote is
Oh, that's
the-
right around
It
graduation,
is
isn't
their
it?
graduation,
Oh.
not, it's not Fayetteville or Springfield, it's actually their
Ah.
graduation. They start setting up on Thursday, but they thought that we could still have that space
Okay.
on Thursday. So that's why we wouldn't be in there Friday and Saturday.
Yeah,
But I do think Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday there at Bud Walton, just because it's at Bud Walton,
right.
will definitely draw in the voters.
Mhm.
It was by far our busiest limited early
Mm.
vote site that we
Yeah.
had in 2020. We got no complaints from voters about not knowing where to park. The
Oh,
university put up parking signs
Yeah.
for us. They loved being able to go into Bud Walton, and I think we got a nice mix of students. We certainly got a lot of students.
Mhm.
Not as many students as I thought we would. We actually got just
But
quite a bit
Yeah.
of, you
People in the
know,
people in
staff and people in the
community.
neighborhood. It was a great location. We
Good.
got tons and tons of, you know, positive feedback about being at Bud Walton.
Yeah,
And so they want to keep us
good.
there.
Same,
It's just
same
always
space.
same space in that top level place.
Mhm.
It's just going to be working out the dates with commencement and basketball, but they want to work with us.
Yeah,
So it might be we don't always get a Friday and Saturday, but we definitely
Oh,
should
yeah.
always get at least 3 days of early voting at Bud Walton.
Well, that's great. It's an awesome location. It's
Yeah.
fun to vote there.
Yeah.
The parking was easy. It's fun to vote
Yeah.
in the stadium.
Right.
Hogs are 4
Right.
seed in the NCAA tournament. More folks will probably vote there than last time. I
That's
mean,
true, I hadn't thought about that.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
cool, you know?
Yeah.
It is.
Yep.
So, that's great.
So.
All right.
Rice Physical Therapy, which was the
Friday,
location next to
Saturday.
the Walmart, they cannot do Thursdays. They've got
Oh.
no business, but they can offer us Friday and Saturday,
Okay.
for both the fall, or spring and the fall
Oh,
elections.
good, okay.
And then, for the public library, I think that we should just I'm gonna confirm with them, I still have a question mark on that Saturday.
Mhm.
For me, being there would be Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at the library, as long as we can get Saturday. Otherwise, I think it would be Wednesday, Thursday, and
Oh,
Friday.
okay.
But I'll let you know,
Either way, you'd get 3 days.
either way, we would get 3 days
Okay.
there. Shiloh Meeting Hall is the one.
Oh, yeah.
Do we want to go forward with that, or do we want, that's kind of one that, I don't know.
I mean, I'm open to try it.
Yeah,
And give
that's,
it a shot and see.
that's the whole thing. If we try it and we decide it's not workable,
Yeah.
that's
What's
fine.
the-
But if we don't try it, we'll never know.
Yeah.
What's
good
our,
point.
what's our concern?
My concern with Shiloh Meeting Hall is definitely the parking.
Yeah.
That one,
Yeah.
my poll workers will not be able to park at the location.
Oh, yeah, I remember you talking.
Yeah, so that's my biggest concern. The site itself, finding it, just the historic, being able to go in there was really neat. But, it gives us another location
That's right.
in
Yeah,
Springdale, but it is definitely the parking for my poll workers, and we'll have to talk with them about that. And like Renee said, we can try it if it doesn't work, you know.
We haven't
tried-
lost anything.
We
No,
tried Goshen for the.
Oh, yeah.
And they got 40 voters.
Didn't work.
And it wasn't worth, you know, kind of trying to go again, so we can see how this will
Well,
work.
I think this would be community, it would be based on the community's interest in it there. There are houses around there. Huntsville is a main artery in that area. You
Yeah.
can put a sign there.
Yes.
And, you know, I feel
Put the
like
sign.
that is, that's gonna bring people in that you might not otherwise, who would maybe be going over to Elmdale.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's true, and especially, I guess we haven't talked about the Civic Center, but if we can't have as many early vote days there, it's good to have something else on an adjacent artery,
Right.
you know, to cut over. Could you put even a big sign on, you know, vote down, vote here, and an arrow or something on 412, so people could turn on Huntsville,
Oh,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
turn right there?
yeah.
I don't know, you know, just trying to get the word out to people.
We can, and one thing about that area where the Shiloh Meeting Hall is, the city of Springdale has bought all
Oh, yeah.
that property. Their long-term goal is, and they've already started on it, is where part of their farmer's market is,
Oh, yeah.
is like a walking
Right,
art
right, right.
center, a farmer's
Huh.
market, just all sorts of little
And
things.
that's all in the
And
stage
it's all
right now.
in that
Yeah.
same area, which eventually, if this is a good early vote site for us, we'll get people who are out at the farmer's market,
Good
who are
point.
Yeah,
out
that's
for
a
some
good
type of
idea.
event like that and can just
Yeah.
walk.
Or even
They don't
just,
have to park. They
even
can
just
Yeah.
walkers that,
Yeah.
you know, do their daily walk or something in that area.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
all, like,
yeah.
their long-term goal is to turn that whole
Mhm.
area into a walking, you know, shopping, farmer's market, kind of open place. And this would fit in with that,
Mhm.
kind of voting, you know, there at that location, so.
That's a great idea. Put in the pitch now to them, you know, about a room.
Yeah, there's,
I mean, when they build, same with Boys and
Oh.
Girls Club, you know, like,
Oh,
when
yes.
they're in the planning
right,
stages,
right,
hey, add a community room, you know?
Yeah,
Well, we've used it for elections.
that's right.
I don't know. People don't think about things like
Well,
that on the
isn't-
front end unless we ask them. Why not?
Isn't Tom part of the planning for that? Tom Lundstrom?
I don't know, he
I
may
think he
be,
is. I
yeah.
think he's,
And that's the
We should hit 'em
problem.
up.
yeah.
Community
Yeah.
rooms are not thought
I
of.
know.
No, people don't.
There used to be that First National Bank community room down there, and I guess it's been, I don't know, transformed to something else that is obviously not for,
Community,
yeah.
yeah.
And, I mean, that was a good place to go back
Yeah,
in the day.
sure, yes, sure.
So, yeah, I'll talk to him.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
I'll,
great.
and I'll reach out, back out to Shiloh Meeting. They're excited. That's another thing. They're excited
Right.
for us to
Yes.
be there.
Yeah,
They,
good.
you know,
Let them try it.
so,
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'll reach back out and confirm, you know, those dates and make sure that works. And then, of course, Lincoln is on the back end of early voting because it's also an election day site.
Mhm.
Yeah, cool.
Superb. I think we've got that covered. Your thoughts?
Good.
Okay.
So I want to just confirm, does the commission want me to approach City Hall about using them Tuesday for Election Day and just visit with St. Joseph that we might not be there in May, but would you welcome us back in November?
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
the one who was asking.
No,
for
it's a valid, I mean, it's a valid concern because we're moving voters and
Right.
taking them out of their traditional place. So I just wanted to make sure that was kind of the will of the commission in regards to that.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point, Jim. It's always a concern to move voters anywhere.
Right,
I
right.
mean,
Do we
you've been
need to do
voting somewhere.
any, early, mention of it or talk about it on the website or something so people that are looking for voting information that Is there a way to kind of give everybody a little heads up, this is what we're doing?
Will Becky send, new cards?
She won't, but we post on our website the sites, and I list anytime we change.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, okay.
yeah.
Locations, it'll say, this is a new change. The one thing that helps us at St. Joseph's is they're right next door to one another. So
Exactly.
it's not like it's on the other side of town, it's just on the other side of the street.
Yeah.
It's so just getting the word out that
And
way.
it might actually be a little easier getting in and out,
Well, and
if you
I
go
could,
toward the back.
yes, and I could do the early vote sign to say early vote and election day.
Ah.
You know, we have the early vote signs
Sure.
for like a lot of locations, but
Yeah.
if I do the one for City Hall and make it say early vote and election day, as people are driving
that's
by
They're
for
rare.
the 2
Yeah,
weeks
I think
and they
that's
wanna
great.
vote election day, they're gonna see that
Yeah.
during that 2-week timeframe.
And have the people who are working there mention, we are also an election day site.
Yeah.
If
so
somebody comes
If you're, yeah, if you
Yeah.
know someone who's wanting to vote. and things
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I say, investigate all of them, whatever you think that we need, go for it, and we'll have this all to decide or to approve on Thursday.
And then for election day, Archer, I may just have to make up one at the school. I'm still chasing Archer down. Ray's Mill, which is one of our
Oh,
smaller
yeah,
locations.
oh, yeah.
I may not have a crew for that location. I'll confirm that by Thursday. It may be one that we need to close.
Okay.
Just because, like, we talked about it previous meeting, that natural closing of
Right.
polling locations.
Yeah.
What's the closest, if you're in Ray's Mill, what's the closest next one?
It depends.
It's kind of right in the middle.
It is.
Between Weddington,
Community.
Oh, okay.
Lincoln, and Prairie.
Okay,
Yeah,
so you would have 3 options, you just have to.
Yeah,
Yeah, depending on where you're going.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you have Lincoln early vote and Prairie
Oh,
Grove
yeah.
early vote too.
Yeah.
Those were two things that have been added.
Yes.
I mean, fairly recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Morrow is another one too, but I think I have enough poll workers for Morrow. It's another one of our smaller rural polling locations. But I do think I have enough poll workers for it. And then, part of this conversation started because our supervisor out at Lincoln passed away. And so I was having to kind of figure out a plan for Lincoln
Yep.
and, make sure that, 'cause we have to keep it
Right,
open.
right.
Yep. Definitely.
And so, but I think I've got Morrow set, I have Lincoln set, it's just Ray's Mill, I don't know if
Okay.
I'll be able to keep it
Yeah.
open.
Well, and once, people hear that we may have to close it, maybe that will motivate, maybe it won't.
Yeah.
But,
So-
we go by the community response to it, if there's an outcry, no, we've gotta have it,
Yep.
then
And
they've
just-
gotta man it.
And just because you close it for this election
True,
doesn't mean that
true.
you can't come back.
Yeah.
Now, we did that with Strickler and Durham, and we haven't, I don't see a lot of applications for poll
Right.
workers from Strickler area or Durham area,
Yeah.
so it kind of, keeps
Yeah.
it closed.
Yeah,
So.
good point. I was gonna ask something else. On Thursday, will you bring a map?
Yeah, I have
So that we've got,
yes,
we can see the approximates.
yes.
Okay, what else?
That's all I have on my update for the early vote and election day.
Okay. How about your precinct?
So,
Live update.
we are so close to actually having precinct shape files.
Oh, man.
So hopefully by Thursday, I'll have precinct shape files. If not, we'll need to meet either the 23rd or the 24th. The commission will need to approve a new precinct map, basically. What I have in front of you is what the clerk has given us, and then what we've gone through. These are your precincts, your precinct parts, and then you'll notice the state house, justice of the peace, constable, school district, and school zone. That's all the different things that are within that one precinct.
Okay.
And so we have double checked this. The Northwest Regional gave us a new mapping tool that
Oh.
we were able to go in and, they identified in that new mapping tool that they sent us to help us get to this, 418 unique precincts without any school district parts in it. And most of them were slivers of lines that didn't match up. Like, they would be a line down the middle of Interstate 49, where a state house and a state rep line, instead of meeting, did like this. And so there's like a long sliver where, okay, what am I gonna do with that? There's obviously no one lives there, but I've got to put it into a precinct. So we had to identify all of those unique little things to verify. Unfortunately, we have probably 10, maybe 12 unique small precincts of less than 5
People.
or 10 voters.
Oh,
Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah. So,
And there's nothing we can do about that.
there isn't anything, we would, you know, pull it up on a map and then be like, is that a house, is it a barn? Is there anyone
Yeah.
registered to vote there? And so Becky would confirm if there were people registered to vote there, and if there were, it had to be a precinct.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, so hopefully we'll have those shape files in a precinct map on the 17th. But this is what we have, identified so far. Like, the little, like Wheeler, went from just being Wheeler H and Wheeler S to now there's 5 parts to Wheeler. White River, there's 5 parts to White River. A lot of our smaller precincts, we added a precinct in Tawnytown. We went from 1 to, we used to have 5, we went to 6. So there's a lot of different things. Also, this, if you look at the precinct name, the alphabet does not match. We always have a joke with our alphabet does not match Becky's alphabet. Because she has these precinct part code identifier numbers, and we had to figure numbers out. Like, if you'll notice, Fayetteville 1, and then it's Fayetteville 49, and Fayetteville 50.
Oh, yeah.
It's because we had to create these little code parts for it. So just don't be concerned when you see the alphabet doesn't match. We go by the part code when we're coding.
Got it.
What's the number on the column that's on the
That,
left?
so in order to figure out how many actual precincts we had, that's what that number is. If you notice at Brush Creek, there's a 040.001 and a 040.050.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 school districts. So within Brush Creek, there's Fayetteville and Springdale School District. Our goal had originally been to split those apart, but with Northwest Regional and trying to get the precinct map, we just couldn't make it happen.
Yeah.
And so we went ahead and left the school splits inside the old precincts, and we only have to use them for the primary election. We don't have to use them for the general. Our goal next year, if we don't have a ton of things, is to actually go through this and make those unique precincts and then get everything alphabetically in line. But this is, you know, to get us to a ballot and
Not
get us
now.
to a precinct map.
Yeah.
This is what we have.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, question, has that, lawsuit, remind me, there was a lawsuit from the state rep, or on the state rep line, correct? Has that been resolved?
It was, and then I think another group has come back.
Yeah, I think it will be appealed.
Appealed, yeah.
So we maybe have all these together and get a monkey wrench thrown in this.
You never know. I
Yeah.
don't
I
wanna, I haven't read the pleadings or anything, but I would just based on the makeup of the Eighth Circuit and the makeup of the Supreme Court, I would be surprised if something got
If it
reversed.
goes, oh, okay, okay.
So I think this is
So we're-
probably what my guess would be, if I was putting money on it, what we have is what we're
Hopeful,
gonna need.
okay,
Yeah.
okay,
But again, I haven't read the pleadings.
yeah,
You never know what a court is gonna
right,
do.
right.
Yeah.
How soon would that come down, if indeed it comes down?
Probably,
Before
it'd
the
probably
election?
take, no,
Okay,
probably take
okay.
longer than that,
Even
unless they
the
file
fall?
some emergency
You think it would be before the
request.
fall?
Possibly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, possibly.
Okay. But, I mean, that's gonna affect, if indeed they were to reverse it, it would affect
It could.
whoever is running in those races, right?
It could. Yeah, it could. It could be a whole mess.
Oh, boy, okay.
Yeah.
Don't borrow trouble. Okay, precinct list update, are you finished with that then?
Yeah, I just wanted you to have the precincts and know that this
A
is,
vision of what we have to do?
yes, and we should hopefully have everything we need, because March 25th is the deadline.
Oh, yeah.
We have to get the state files to the state GIS.
Mm.
Once we get that to the state GIS, there actually is a nice link off of their website that I will put a link on ours,
Okay.
to let voters go in and search their address. And then it will show school district,
Oh,
JP,
good.
Oh, cool.
everything, and we'll have that link on our website. When I post the sample ballot, I'll post that link. So, here's the
Yeah.
link to find out what the map shows you. And so, but in order to get that link to work, we have to have
Get that
state files.
So that'll all eventually be up on Voter View.
It'll be, Voter View will show you, Voter View will show you your sample ballot and what you can vote for. The nice thing about the map is like, let's say I put in, my address,
Mhm.
and it shows that the map is gonna show I'm in JP District 5, let's say.
Gotcha.
But let's say Voter View said I was in JP District 6. You're gonna go with what the map
Oh,
shows,
okay.
but, so voters are gonna be able to see.
Mm.
Because some of the precincts that we created are lines going to a house. So there
What are
are
you doing
some
about that?
areas where the clerk had to make a judgment call.
Yes.
Like,
Mm.
where's the front door,
Right,
where's
right.
the back door, and so there are those tiny areas, where voters, we looked at a map and said, okay, this looks
Mhm.
like it should go here. They may have a different opinion on that. I
And
mean,
do
it's
they
a
have an
small number.
opportunity to request
So basically,
evaluation?
they can call the clerk, and
Okay.
what we have told our poll workers, and we started telling them back when we had found one of those errors, that if the voter says, no, I think this is where I live, and whatever you're telling me, Voter View is telling me is wrong, we look at
Mhm.
Data Scout, and then the clerk will say yes or no, and then the
Gotcha.
voter can vote a provisional, just like
Oh,
we
yeah,
had for
good
that
point.
state senate where those people
Right.
were marked in the wrong place.
Mhm.
And they're like, no, if I look at a map, this is what the
Yeah.
map shows.
Yeah.
So that's the nice tool for the voters,
Yeah.
especially with
Yeah.
all the redistricting,
Right.
is they can actually look at it and say, no, I think this map is showing me something different.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're asking the voters we're crowdsourcing to the voters
We
to
are, yeah.
verify the
And
info.
listen, sometimes that's the best way to do it.
Well, sure. I
You
mean,
know?
somebody knows where they live
Yeah.
and where their house is between two little lines.
That's right.
Yeah,
And
let us know.
that's the thing, when it goes through a house,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and so you're
It's hard to
just
tell.
like, where do I put it,
Yeah.
that's part of the problem.
Pin the tail on the donkey. Okay, so you've produced a list of, we have to sign this, that's what that's all about.
Yeah, Max was the only one here to sign, and then I didn't know if he
Okay.
wanted to do the other.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sure you have these all as we wrote them down.
Yeah, we compared ours, and then I compared it with Becky's,
Okay.
what she had. I thought Renee, you did an excellent job too, of recapping
Yeah.
for everyone.
In the future, I think as we do the ballot draw, we want the people who come up to draw to state their name and to state, because I wasn't sure on some of those. And to state if they are, drawing for a candidate, who the candidate is. Because that was not completely, understandable online, and, just, it's kind of a formality, but it would be a good way to, just confirm.
No, I think it's a great idea. It's good to have that perspective too, seeing it online.
Oh, my, yeah.
What it's like, and I think it's a
Totally
great idea. We
different.
should clarify in the future with the process.
Yes,
Yeah, 'cause
exactly.
even if we know who some people are,
Exactly.
not everybody did.
Mhm.
Oh, well, you
Yeah.
couldn't tell online.
Oh,
No,
yeah. you could.
not at
Even
all.
somebody you might know, or think you
Mhm.
know, you couldn't tell.
Well,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I
okay.
think,
Depends on how big your screen is.
yeah,
Sure.
yeah, good
Well,
point.
sure. Yeah,
And
that's
I
a
think
good
what
point.
amazed me was how many people were in this room who were not candidates or who did
Oh,
not
yeah.
draw for somebody. And, I mean,
Same, I didn't,
it was
I've never seen that
amazing.
before. Yeah, I agree.
And especially in the yucky weather, I just was blown away by it,
Same.
weren't you?
Yeah.
It was
Yep.
amazing.
I went
Anyway,
out- When I pulled it up, I said, whoa.
yeah, I'm thinking,
Why am I here?
I know.
Why am I not there?
I know, I'm thinking the same thing, I'm
It
going,
was hard to know if anybody was gonna go that time, in
Exactly.
the weather, and
yeah,
sometimes, you know,
yeah,
nobody knows. I mean,
right, yeah, I mean, here we are.
Yeah.
Okay, upcoming meetings, March the 7th, 9 a.m. and,
17th,
huh?
17th.
March the, did I say 7th? I'm
You
sorry.
did.
March the 7th, 9 a.m., and then March the 23rd or 24th. We can decide that on Thursday. And, depending on how quickly you get it done. Other business. Let's go ahead and talk about one item. I'm sorry, I feel like I'm keeping you.
Oh, no, I was looking at
Okay.
my calendar
Okay.
to make sure I had them on there.
Jennifer had an email Friday afternoon after we had met. And it was from, the, Association of County, whatever their full title is.
Yeah,
Arkansas Association of Counties, or county,
I
whatever.
think that's it,
Okay.
AOC, yeah.
And, why don't you just tell what transpired there?
So, an email went out from Lindsay French, who is the attorney for the County Clerks Association. Late Friday afternoon, about 4:11. We don't get those emails because we're not part of the County Clerks Association. So Becky forwarded the email to me this morning, and the email specifically addressed, can a candidate run for multiple offices on the same ballot? School board members. And her opinion was that, yes, they can run for both offices. And she had an attorney general's opinion that backed up that a candidate can run for school board and run for state rep, which is opposite what we had been told by legal counsel for the State Board of Election Commissioners.
But it was legal opinion, it wasn't source exact.
Right, I had called Chris at the State Board of Election Commissioners and text messages, because I had text messages with him asking that specific question.
Yeah.
And my part of the question I asked, because the law says districts, and I said, does this apply to school districts? Yes, it applies to school districts. So on Friday, when we had the name certified to us, there was a candidate for both state rep and for school board. Advice from State Board of Election Commissioner was, cannot run for both. The candidate will need to withdraw from one of those races. the candidate did withdraw from the school board race. Then we get this email Monday morning, because obviously we're not the only county asking this
Right.
question. This question was asked from several other counties across the state. So then they send out this information, March 11th, which is 10 days after filing.
Well, I was gonna say a little late to be helpful.
Yeah,
over.
yeah,
To provide
exactly,
it.
yeah.
So, with that new email and that new source of information, I called Chris at the
Mhm.
state board to ask Chris, what do we do?
What's the ruling authority here?
We talked to this candidate. So, so I called Renee, and Chris's advice was to call the candidate, since we had advised the candidate that they should withdraw, to let that candidate change her mind, basically, to say she wasn't going to withdraw, and so that she could be both
Give her the option.
options.
So he's changed his mind.
Yes, because
Yeah,
he was.
has he changed his mind? Because lawyers all the time have different opinions
See, that's what I told Jennifer, yeah.
on matters, and when there's not a statute or a case on point,
Right.
I haven't reviewed it. I mean, got the advice from the State Board of Election Commissioners. They're the
But
ones who,
But this
But-
has an opinion, apparently,
An
from the
general's
Attorney
opinion.
General's office back in 2017.
on the specific
On this
issue.
subject,
Yes, the question was, township and school districts. So, the advice from the legal counsel from the County Clerks Association was different than the opinion that I received from the State Board of Election Commissioners. So, I talked to the candidate, and the candidate wants to just only run for the one office. I explained to her that we had received a new opinion, and that this new information had come to light, and that we had given her the wrong information. And
Well, it wasn't the wrong information
Well,
at the
or-
time, and arguably, it's
Right, right, good
arguably, it's
point.
still not the
May
wrong
still, may
information.
still not,
Good point.
be. the
Yeah.
right
Yeah,
information.
I mean, it may be. I haven't looked at it and done the research and looked at it, but,
Right,
you
but
know.
nevertheless, what we know at this point is that there are conflicting opinions that maybe
Yep.
we moved the wrong direction.
We received
What we
additional
knew.
information from a
Yeah.
different source
Yeah.
that wasn't timely provided to us.
Right.
And we've provided it now to the candidate, and, you know,
Do we,
her choice is her choice.
Yes, and
You know,
her-
what she does, we don't have to consider the question. It sounds like whether she could even withdraw. That's not even questioned before us, because it sounds like she's not choosing to
right.
Yeah,
take that step forward.
she's satisfied with the situation as it exists?
Yeah.
She is. I just wanted,
we need to be aware.
to be aware.
Sure.
Because we haven't approved the ballot. Today's the last day to do the ballot draw.
Mhm.
She would have been in a contested race. And so, in fairness to her and the other candidate, you know, with this new information, you know, I talked to her and asked her what did she want to do.
Yeah.
And she said she wanted to just stay with running for the state rep position and not run for the school board
Is it,
position.
this opinion that came from the Attorney General or whatever, is it a narrow opinion that just has to do with a race and a school board race, or is it?
Municipal and, is it municipal and any state race?
Yeah, this is the email exchange between the,
I'm no lawyer, we got one over here that.
Well, and they're just Attorney General's opinion.
Exactly,
They're only
yes.
that, and I hate,
A reading of the
yeah, I'm
law.
not gonna give any commentary on them in general, other than,
'Cause I could see this being, you know, somebody just wants to, sign up for anything that doesn't cost them a lot of money to sign up for, and just have their name on a lot of different races, and maybe they might get lucky, you know?
hey, it's one argument that's an argument that could be made,
Mhm.
certainly, in any court case involving it. And the Attorney General's opinions are non-binding. They're not binding.
Oh,
They're just
okay.
opinions.
They're guides.
Yeah, exactly. It's it's, you know, given some degree of weight depending on the court, but the degree of weight that it's given totally depends on the court
Gotcha.
and the arguments that are made by attorneys. But again, I have not
Yeah,
ever seen this opinion or researched this issue,
I think this is
looked into
a,
this.
I think this is a good thing for the legislature to
Yeah.
maybe clarify in
Yeah.
the law.
It's an
Right.
excellent point, Jim. It's an excellent point.
yeah.
Yep.
And hopefully they can.
Mhm.
Because what it boils down to for the Attorney General's opinion, the statute says a person shall not run for election for more than one state, county, municipal district, or township office.
Oh, yeah.
So the question is, does district apply to school districts?
Mhm.
The Attorney General's opinion says that no, it does
Okay, when
not.
was
So it
this
is very
opinion
narrow.
issued, 2017?
2017.
Was this before they combined school district elections with the primary and the general? So to me, that changed, and
Oh,
when that changed, I would interpret district as applying to a school district election,
Yeah.
because this was pre that happening in the law. See, I mean, I haven't even looked at the stuff, but it's just arguments, right? I mean, that makes logical sense to me, or I'm
And
just
you've
arguing that
got to-
position,
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
Again, I haven't looked at it all, but I would say that that's a
Mhm.
likely explanation for this AG's opinion in light of that statute.
right.
Yeah, I'm
Good
pretty
point.
sure
Do we
the
need-
opinion was in-
Do we need for this,
It is.
Yeah.
this candidate, do we need something that she says that she's fine, or are we good with
So-
what we have?
So I spoke with her on speakerphone, so that it wasn't just my side of the conversation, and I just sent her an email asking her to just confirm.
Okay, so you've got it.
No,
I
Chris,
think
this
we're
was
good.
pre them combining the elections, just an FYI to
Oh,
him
that's
for
a good point,
future,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
future advice on elections, whatever. Because
Right,
this will come up
right.
again,
Oh,
if it won't be clarified by
If
the
they, yeah, if
legislature.
they
Yeah.
can't get it
Yep,
figured out.
and if you'll see in the email exchange, it's not just our county.
Mhm.
Other counties.
This wasn't
Mhm.
even for us, but they sent it out to,
Right.
just general broadcast.
yes, and and we're one that we had a candidate that was filed and, you know, for both offices.
Yeah.
I do think it will be cleaned up because
Yeah.
they do now treat school elections the same as they're all together now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't hold
Yeah,
them
good
separately.
point.
it used to
Good
be, it was
point.
Right.
always in August or September?
September.
September,
Mhm.
yeah.
So,
Well, the main thing is, we wanted y'all to be aware, this is an issue that,
Yeah, thank you for the info.
brought some great concern to the election office when we found out about it.
Understandable.
But it, you know, it
If
resolved
you didn't have
well.
anything else to do.
Yeah, exactly.
it was not the phone call I wanted at 8:15 this morning
Oh, no, of course not.
to say, and I was like, oh. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
so I'm sure Chris was not the phone call, because he was
I mean, interrupt.
who I
No,
called
no problem.
immediately after Becky
Yeah,
called me.
Yeah.
And said, you told me this, but this, so.
Well, and Jennifer and I have also discussed that we need, and she has run this upstairs
Yeah,
to the county attorney and, the deputy to make sure that they're aware, because they're the ones who would end up having to defend us in case there was any, legal issue involved. And, you know, we're gonna have a little bit of a more extended process
Mhm.
when we're looking for, can you clarify this law for us? Or figure out the way to do it, and, you know, just to cover, and not only that, but to make sure that we're not being unfair to a person who wants to be a candidate for something just because of the way we've read the law.
Yeah.
Or been instructed to read the law.
yeah.
So,
I think that's totally fair. I think, you know, it is what it is. We ask
Mhm.
for advice from,
yeah,
you know,
Chris,
Garrett and Brian are great, but they don't practice election law every day.
Exactly,
They've got a
and
lot on their plate.
that's what I said to
We asked it
Jennifer.
from a state
Yeah,
entity
right,
that in theory should be providing the same advice to all counties around the state.
right.
So I mean, we did the right thing. There's no fault on
No,
our part
no, no.
through any of the
It
process.
was all due diligence,
Yeah.
but my thought was, you know, if you've got some legal minds that are aware of what's going on down here, And, maybe they've just read an opinion somewhere, a fluke, you know. I happened to read something about that the other day. And so I thought, we can keep connection with upstairs.
Oh, sure, I think it's good.
In order to
Yep.
make sure that if they've got any insight into it, even though they don't ever or rarely.
Not that they can't, but you know, if we have an
Yeah.
answer from
Exactly.
somebody who looks at it
Mhm.
all day, you know.
Yeah, right,
Yeah. But it's
right.
a good, I think that's good.
Because they will
I
have
think you're
to
right.
defend us if we need to be defended.
No, you're right.
So, anyway, that's, all the new business.
We have a wonderful amount of information about the election commission that you guys keep on the, site, on the Washington County, site. And I think that information is, woefully lacking in the minds of most voters.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, I've had some requests to share, you know, things about the election commission. I'm gonna start sharing the website and how
Yeah.
to get to things, because once people start asking questions, they can find out a lot
Oh,
without,
yeah.
VoteWashco.com.
VoteWashco.com.
yeah.
I put as
You're right.
much as
Yeah,
I
there's
can
great
on
info on
there.
I know, but I don't know that that's new business, but I think,
No, it's a good point, though.
Yeah. we just-
VoteWashco.com, send people to it, you're right.
Maybe we ought to think about more business cards with VoteWashco.com on them.
yeah.
Hand
Yeah, or
them out like
advertising
candy.
at the polling locations, right?
That's
Yeah,
a
I
good
mean,
point,
Sign
yeah.
up, you know.
There may
so people
need
see
to
it.
be a marketing arm.
Yeah.
Jennifer actually got on, Facebook for the election commission, so,
Yeah, we post information there about when early voting starts,
Mhm. Oh, that's
election
great.
day, I post all of that on Facebook and everything. But, yeah, I feel like if I'm doing something, I post it there. I'll have sample ballots there as well
I know.
as voter view and just, I mean, yeah.
by the way, I don't want to extend this meeting any longer than it has to be, but have you come up with a date? They've asked Jennifer to, present, the State Board of Election Commissions has more presentations to make in other places in the state, and they're coming to the right place, asking Jennifer to present there and train.
Rockstar. That's a
Yeah.
rock
Great.
star.
Yeah.
Have you come up with dates?
I sent them the dates I'm not available.
Okay.
When we're doing
Okay.
supervisor and poll worker training, but this would be for the coordinators training.
Cool.
And so they'll get back to me. It'd
Yeah.
be 2 days to go to Little Rock, and one I would be obligated to do, because we're obligated to attend the class,
Oh,
but
that's
I
right,
would be
yeah.
doing the class,
Yeah, cool.
for it, so, yeah.
Oh, that's great, good
So,
for you.
I
You
told
should
her
do it
she
for
needs
sure.
to
That's
ask
awesome.
for a driver
Yeah.
for the trip down.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
You
agree.
know?
Oh, yeah, sure, I
Yeah.
agree.
She
Yeah.
could be working on lots of things while she's sitting there being driven.
Yeah, sure, I agree.
So, okay,
That's
well, you'll
great.
let us know when
I
you
will
decide.
let you know
Okay.
when that is and
Okay.
everything, so, yeah. So.
We're proud of her, we just don't want her to be stolen away.
No, I like my
Oh,
little
they
pond
should, if they were
here.
smart, they should, they should.
Haven't they already
Trying
asked
to
you?
get you to-
Yeah,
Jennifer, you can't go anywhere.
I
we're
won't.
gonna chain you to your desk.
I feel I'm already there, so, yeah. And it's
Good
traveling
point.
with me home.
Oh, yeah,
So, yeah.
oh, yeah.
So.
All right, any other business? All right, we're adjourned.
All right.
Keep pumping that iron so that you can do more ballot draws.
For the next year, I'm out
Thank
of
you.
here.
I think we designate you to do that.
Oh, my goodness. Did we never have any complaints